They're like little spiders climbing up the trees, putting the lights up as they go on. Okay, so a little more information about the tour. It's a 35-minute tour. I'll be pointing at things as we're going along, so if you're curious as to what I'm talking about, look to me to see what I'm pointing at. If you have questions on the tour, feel free to ask your questions. I know a lot about the river. I don't know everything, though. If you ask me a question I don't know the answer to, I'm creative as well. I can come up with a believable response. It's a panoramic tour, so look around. You take a lot of photos and videos if you want. We encourage that. Try not to use your phones for social media or the internet. That's what's going to distract you. You're trying to make a phone call and this is an emergency. If it's you ordering pizza for your room later on, that is not an emergency. If it's you ordering pizza for the whole boat, that is an emergency. Make the phone call. Oh, it's enough of the rules. Let's keep going. We're going to see for the first time coming up on the left side, the Tower of the Americas, the freestanding observatory tower. As you come up to this footbridge, look to the boat's left side. One of the best pictures of the Tower of the Americas is coming up here on the left side. And remember not to stand up. There's another good picture right after the bridge, so be sure to take that as well. Okay, I'm not going slow. I'm not going very fast. I don't really care to go very fast right now. And over here on the right side is this 8-foot bronze statue of St. Anthony de Padua. If you can look at the statue here on the right, he's holding a child in his arms, because the statue is representation of the child. St. Anthony was known as the finder of lost things and lost children. The statue is an original St. Book from Portugal. The statue right here from Portugal in 1968 for the World's Fair. Now look out in front of us, the big building with the flag on it, way out there in front of us. That's called the Tower Life building. We're headed over there. We'll talk about that building when we get there. In front of us on the left side, the hotel that says Hilton on it, the Hilton Palacio de Rio. That hotel is a little typical looking. It's not typical. It was built in 202 days in 1968. We're going to talk about that record and the details of the building when we get there starting here in a few moments. The city of San Antonio comes from Catholic origins. The city name itself, Spanish for San Antonio. St. Anthony, same as the statue we just saw. 5 missions in San Antonio, all founded by Catholic Spanish missionaries. We'll see Catholic Cathedral later on as well. Right now, look to the boat's right side. Above the tree line on the right side is this church steeple. Here on the right side. This is for St. Joseph's Catholic Church. If you can tell by that building's design on the right side, you can tell it's a German design built by a German community that was here in San Antonio in the 1860s. That community wanted a church building of their own. They built the church in 1868, choosing to put that church on Commerce Street here on the right side of us. It's not unusual they chose Commerce Street. Commerce Street was in the 1860s a major thoroughfare here in San Antonio. Commerce Street is still a major thoroughfare, but the church now sort of oddly placed there, surrounded by the mall. The city wanted to build on the property. The church was already there. The city had to literally build a mall around the church building. Pretty impressive. You have to go see it for yourself here on the right side. Commerce Street, go see St. Joseph's Catholic Church. And if you haven't visited the Alamo yet, well, you have to go visit the Alamo before you leave San Antonio. But if you're a little concerned about trying to find the Alamo using the river as a guide, well, you should be concerned. There's no access to the Alamo from the river, so you will get lost. Instead, though, use the street above you. Alamo Street is above you. Take the street to the right. Go north on Alamo Street. You'll be right in front of the Alamo. It's a 15-minute walk. A quarter mile to the north, and you'll be right in front of the Alamo. Now we're going to pass this bridge here in just a moment. We're going to go left. The area past the bridge has a name. The city calls this area on the other side of the bridge the natural part of the river. The city calls this area the natural part of the river because it follows the natural flow of the river. Don't be fooled. That's the only reason why the city calls that. For that reason alone, it only follows the natural flow. It's not that much different than the rest of the river walk anymore. Now there's something on Alamo Street I want you to see. So look behind my left. So everybody towards me, behind me, where this big 65-foot reddish-orange broken lollipop over here. This broken lollipop is called the Torch of Friendship. The Torch of Friendship is a gift. It's from Mexico. It was given to the city in 2002. The torch commemorates the friendship between the United States and Mexico by a Mexican artist whose name is known simply as Sebastian. We have another location for our tour here on the right side. This area on the right side called La Historia. La Historia in Spanish means the history of the story. I have no idea what we call it that. We call it that anyway. It's opposite the building on the left side, this big white hotel on the left side, the Hilton Palacio de Rio. This hotel here on the left side built in 202 working days in 1968, a record. The hotel on the left side built modularly, which means it was built in pieces. Look at the bottom floors of the hotel. They have glass walls built first here on site. The upper floors with the rails, little yellow lights, they were the modules built off site 8 miles away from the city. The modules are brought into the city, and then the whole thing was just stacked up as quickly as the city could get it done. there was a deadline to beat. 2 days after this hotel opened, the World's Fair began on 1968. With 2 days to spare. When the city started the construction of this hotel on the left, there was nothing here, but when the city finished the construction of the hotel, it was furnished water, electricity. In fact, as you see it right now, 202 days, which is still a record. Still a record because companies don't try to break the record because of the liability and safety concerns that come with a record like that. They just leave that record alone. Right. We're in a different section now called La Villita. La Villita in Spanish means the little village. This is perhaps the oldest neighborhood in the city, settled in by Native Americans in the early 1700s. The name of that tribe, the Payaya Native American tribe, followed later by German, Spanish, and French settlers. Like in front of us now, we're about to pass through a theater, the open-air 800-person capacity seating theater, known as the Arneson Theater, named after Edwin Arneson. He was an engineer for the Riverwalk. This theater was completed in 1941. It is an active theater. Look to the boat's right side, stage on the right side. Look behind the stage on the right side. They're going to see a wall with 5 bells on the wall on the right side. And 5 bells on the wall dedicated to a man who's considered the founding father of this Riverwalk. He was an architect. His name Robert Hugman. His name is described on the 5 bells you see on the wall. There are 5 bells because there are 5 missions in San Antonio. Watch your heads as we pass this bridge. This bridge has the name Rosita's Bridge, named after Rosita Fernandez, a Tejano music superstar in the 1980s. We're going to see a lot of buildings on this tour. Many of them have been used and reused throughout the years for many purposes. We're going to see an example of that here in just a moment. But first, look directly in front of us. It's right there in front of us, that big tree with all the lights on it right there in front of us. It's called a Baida tree because it's by the river. On the right side of that tree is a sculpture called Camino de Galvez. That's a sculpture of Matthew McConaughey wrangling people. Part of the collection is at the Bristol Western Art Museum. The building behind it, the Bristol Western Art Museum, named after a former governor in Texas. It opened in 2013, but that building has been there a long time. From 1930 to 1968, it was the San Antonio Main Library. There is a saddle that belonged to Pancho Villa, the Mexican revolutionary, inside that museum. Be sure to check it out. Look in front of us now to the skyline. In front of us and to the skyline, the big building with the flag on it. We're almost there to the Tower Lights building. We'll be there in a moment. But to get there, we have to pass the Lowe's Bridge. So again, everybody, watch your heads as we pass these bridges. You can touch this bridge with your hand if you want to. There's no harm in touching the bridge. Remember not to stand up, though. If you can touch the bridge without standing up, that's considered good luck. But don't hurt yourself on the side. If you think you're short, you're not short. You're built for a different purpose. Well, you are just short. Now on the right side, there's a little diamond-shaped table here on the right side with arrows on it called Father Mass. And they say, well, commemorative of the Catholic priest Father Mass tonight. He had his first Mass here, June 13, 1691. This tiny island on the right side with 2 benches. This is Marriage Island, called so because there are over 300 wedding ceremonies that take place on this little island every year. This island is even heart-shaped if you were to look at it from above. It's an incredibly romantic spot. People become engaged there as well. You know, I was fortunate enough to find someone, fall in love, and become engaged on that little island as well.
That's wonderful.
5 times.
5 times.
Before number 6. This is the Navarro Street Bridge, the area on the water. Old Nose Crossing. During the 1800s, many settlers and travelers came here. One of those travelers, Teddy Roosevelt, and his group of cowboy friends, the Rough Riders. You might be wondering about fish. Fish, are there fish in the water? There are fish in the water. Catfish, carp, and perch. Turtles are in the water. The turtles are in the northern part of the river, though. And if you brought your fishing pole thinking about fishing on the river, go fish on the river. It is legal. You're not likely to catch anything, but you're not to try. Now look above us and on the left side, way above us and on the left side, the big building with the flag on it, the Tower Life building. That's 2 words, Tower Life. Completed in 1929. It had a different name in 1929. It was called the Smith and Young Building after the people who designed it. Take a good look at this building up here. If it looks a little familiar and you're old enough to remember the 1980s, I'll explain to you why it looks so familiar. There was a blockbuster hit film in the 1980s starring Dan Aykroyd, Bill Murray, Sigourney Weaver, and Harold Ramis. Who are you going to call? Ghostbusters. This building up here on the left side was not featured in that film. Now people think it was. Look up again, you see why. Look up there and you see the reason why. There are gargoyles, stone creatures on top of this building, very similar to the ones from the movie Ghostbusters film, where in New York City. But there are other scary details. It's going to be a little hard to see. Look over here on the left side of the building here on the left side. See the orange lights there, that one that just turned off. The orange light is there on the right side, left side rather. Look above the light on the left side. At each pillar and pair at the second floor ledge where I'm pointing. Stone faces with incredible detail to the stone faces there on the left side of the second floor ledge. If you can see them, you'll notice they are in husband and wife pairs. When the wife is happy, the husband is not.
Wow.
When the husband is happy, exactly. When the husband is happy, the wife doesn't seem to be having a very peachy day either. The stone faces of the gargoyle, the scary yard didn't have a whole lot to do with Ghostbusters. But in 1929, they were designed to protect the building. They're supposed to protect it from bad business and evil spirits. It didn't work. 1929 was the year the stock market crashed. The building cost $3 million to construct. It sold a few years later at under $300,000. Now look in front of us, this big red building, the dome on the right side, the green, well you can't tell it's green, but this is a green roof. This building in front of us is the Bexar County Courthouse. The Bexar County Courthouse was completed in 1896. This is one of the nation's oldest courthouses in front of us. And the word bear, if you see it, is spelled B-E-X-A-R. If you see that word in this courthouse, don't say Bexar. If you say Bexar, you'll be treated as a tourist. Say bear like the animal. So the channel, I said the channel was shallow before. Remember, I said it was 4 feet deep. This area back here is still kind of shallow, 6 feet. The area in front of us still past the bridge, not shallow. It's 15 to 20 feet deep past the bridge. We're entering a flood channel. We just passed the flood gate under the water. There's a gate underneath us, so this area comes up out of the water, closing off this part of the riverwalk, protecting this area from floods. There are 2 gates. We just passed flood gate 4. We see flood gate 3 to the right. Down comes down into the water, closing off the riverwalk as well. This area diverts water south behind me to the main part of the San Antonio River. The green light on this bridge there to let us know when it's open. Okay, everybody, one more time. Look at the building with the flag and the gargoyles over here on my right shoulder. This is the best view of that building you're ever going to see. Right here on my right shoulder. Now, it's a pretty impressive view. Of course, you see the gold lights up there, but the lights aren't always gold on that building. They are switched out red and green for the Christmas theme during Christmas time. So that's pretty impressive as well. Okay, you seem like a romantic bunch. Let's see another romantic artifact. After the bridge passes, up to the boat's left side, you see a sidewalk and a chain link fence on the left side. It's a very special items on it.
You see a chain link?
These are padlocks. The name of the fence, Love Lock Fence. There's the wedding chapel right there. People get married and there they come out happy in love. Put a padlock on the fence, throw the key in the water as an eternal symbol of their love to each other. Those that aren't so sure it is eternal are the ones who put the combination locks. There are a lot of those up there. You might be wondering you might be wondering how many locks I put up there. I've only put up 1, but I used it 5 times. On the right side, there's gold building on the right side. This is the Jury Closet Hotel. The Jury Closet Hotel opened in 2007. This building on the right was the Alamo National Bank, going back to 1929. Okay, let's see the cathedral. Now the San Fernando Cathedral. Look to the boat's left side. You can see stairwells here on the left side. See the stair on the left side? Follow the stairs out in the distance. Look past the stairs. Look left and a little bit back. You're looking for 2 big pillars up there. The 2 big pillars are an interesting light show, and it's called the Historic Light Show all the way up there. The Historic Light Show starts at 9, 9:30, and 10. So there's another showing at 10. But anyway, the cathedral was completed in 1896. It was a small church in the 1730s. If you want to go see the 10 o'clock showing for the light show, it starts at 10 p.m. Corner of Market and Main Plaza. There is a part of the Riverwalk we don't get to see on these historic tours. It's called the Pearl District. The Pearl District is a 30-minute boat ride straight ahead. There are restaurants, shops, and turtles out there, but not a whole lot of history, which is why we can't go. There is a shuttle that operates tomorrow at 10 in the morning to take out there to the Pearl District. We don't get to go to the Pearl District. We do get to go to the right. This is Floodgate 3 on the right. This is a 3-ton copper gate that comes down into the water, closing off the Riverwalk during times of flood. You can see the 3-ton gate above us here in just a moment as we're about to pass through underneath. But this is the narrowest part of the river, so you want to keep your arms inside the boat. They're over the edge or near the edge. Keep your arms inside the boat. Look up in a moment, see Floodgate 3. And if for whatever odd reason you want to fall into the water, do it in front of us. It's actually 4 feet deep. Now you see this light blue boat here on the right side of us that we're passing here on the right side, this light blue boat. Look on the right side of that boat. There is a tree coming up on the right side with a lot of branches and leaves. A lot of branches and leaves, no roots. Where are the roots to that tree?
In the wall.
Inside, exactly. Inside the wall. The tree is growing out of that wall. It's a fig tree. Legend has it. Flood of 1921 put a fig tree root there. Tree has been growing there ever since. Leaves and fruit on the tree. Evidence it is a real tree. The prohibition of alcohol thankfully ended December 5th, 1933. This tavern on the right side, the Esquire Tavern, they opened their doors December 6th, 1933, 12:01 a.m. Literally the minute after the prohibition of alcohol ended. I have no idea why they waited a minute. The longest wooden bar in the state of Texas is inside that tavern as well. It's over 100 feet long, so that kind of thing impresses you. Go check it out. 108 feet of happiness for you inside. We have a third location for our tour. Historic tours here in front of us. This yellow boat is loading up. They're going to get going here in a few moments. This is called the Aztec Theater. The location we find is near the Aztec Theater. Be sure to get on the boat. Now you're going to see a group of people on this boat. Now you don't really want to make a lot of loud noises. They like noises or upset them anyway. They aren't in their natural habitat. They're called tourists. The Aztec Theater on the right side. This is a red building. This used to be a silent motion picture theater in the 1920s. Not a theater anymore. It's an area for concerts. And while the theater isn't in use anymore, the front entrance to the theater is still here, as it was in the 1920s. Look on the right side. Look to the right side, the big Aztec flag to the market front entrance to the Aztec Theater. The theater was completed in 1964 for a cost of $1.75 million. This is a lot of money when you consider how small the theater is. Speaking of motion pictures, if you've seen the movie Selena, you should recognize the bridge in front of you. This is the bridge from that movie. Selena, the movie about the Tejano music superstar, she lost her life at a young age, unfortunately. Played by Jennifer Lopez, kissed on this bridge in that 1997 film. Local residents come here to become engaged. They call the bridge Selena's Bridge. Over here on the right side, the Tan building, the Mocara Hotel on the right. This opened in 2003. But in the early 1900s, this building on the right was the L. Frank Saddlery Company. After President Teddy Roosevelt and Pancho Villa, the Mexican revolutionary, used to purchase their saddles inside it. Over here on the left side, the white building, the Omni La Mansión Hotel. That's what it is today. That isn't what it was in 1852. In 1852, this was an all-boys academy founded by 4 brothers here in San Antonio. But that academy became co-ed later on, moved to a different part of the city, and then it became a university. The name of that university, St. Mary's University, and it all started here on the left back in 1852. I should have told you, when you get on the boat, you're going to see people taking pictures of you. Don't worry, they want pictures of the boat. The boats are iconic to the city of San Antonio and the Riverwalk. Of course, being on the boat, you're going to get your photo taken. If you see a camera looking at you, be sure to wave, smile, pretend to look happy. You don't want to be hashtag grumpy passenger on social media. Okay, now an optical illusion. After the bridge passes above you, there's a building on the left side. Look to the very top of that building. Get ready to say, whoa. Don't use your glasses or your hats doing this. Look way up there. And get ready to say, over here on the left side, look. There's the next hospital. That's part of the next. And part of the next hospital is triangular in shape, giving it a view of what appears to be a freestanding wall. The next hospital was completed in 1930 as one of the nation's first air-conditioned hospitals. It's still a hospital. If you know comedy, you might know Carol Burnett. Carol Burnett is a San Antonio native. She was born inside the Knicks Hospital. This is the front part of the Riverwalk. The drinks and the food are here. This is called the South Bank of the Riverwalk. This is also the area, though, where at least one person every night falls into the water. But it isn't because of alcohol, it's because of texting and walking. Texting and walking gets you in the water way faster than alcohol does, and you don't even get to have fun doing it. So if you're in this area, be sure to look out for your phone and avoid that peril or check to see, and your phone can swim. I was talking to some Ohioans earlier today. I'm not from San Antonio. I'm not even from Texas. I'm from California. I know, right? But here, originally to San Antonio, though by the military. I am a veteran of the armed forces. I'm not the one. San Antonio has a nickname. It's called Military City, USA. One of the largest congregations of service members and veterans anywhere in this country are in this city. So to see a service member or a veteran, thank them for the gift of freedom. Thank you to those who have served in the military. Thank you to your family and friends that have supported you guys along that journey. It's a big sacrifice. We appreciate that very much. The other name given to San Antonio is the Alamo. Okay, so they mentioned the Alamo, which is not far from this area. The Alamo is on the other side of the building here on the left. This is the Hyatt Regency Hotel on the left, the Alamo on the other side. Go there and you'll be in front of the Alamo. The Hyatt Regency was completed in 1981. The city built the Hyatt Regency with the Alamo in mind. When the sun sets on that building, it doesn't cast a shadow on the Alamo. Over here on the right side is red building, the Casino Club. I'm going to go here in the 1920s. Never a casino, a private club where many wealthy Texas steamers play cards. In 1942, a man by the name of Thomas Gilcrease purchased his building, changing his name to the Gilcrease building. He was an Oklahoma oil man, but he was an art lover. He was learning a lot of art in here before moving back home to Tulsa, Oklahoma, taking everything with him. I'm going to let this gentleman talk to you.
Is that a... Oh.
Dude, didn't I give you $2 for, hey, dude, sir, I gave you $2, remember?
Are you sure?
Yeah, I gave it to you yesterday, remember that? We had a deal. He doesn't remember. I made a deal with you guys, dude.
He's gonna check.
Anyway, carrying on, the city of San Antonio celebrated the remarkable event of the 300-year anniversary of the first settlement in San Antonio last year in 2018. The city celebrated the event all year through the end of the year. If you want to know more about the city's epic 300-year history, be sure to visit the website for the event found at sanantonio300.org, sanantonio300.org. A lot of blood, sweat, and tears went into making the Riverwalk a reality. But the truth is that there's one person you want to thank for the idea of the Riverwalk. He's definitely the founding father of the Riverwalk, Robert Hugman. Although when he came up with the idea for the Riverwalk, the city didn't like the idea of having a Riverwalk. The city was concerned about safety on or near the river. Well, Robert Hugman had to convince the city to invest in the river. He finally came up with the idea to build his own office on the river to do exactly that. Robert Hugman's office, the founding father of the Riverwalk's office, is coming up here on the right side, the cylindrical building here on the right, has his name on it, putting his office here on the right side to show the city that the river is not only a safe, good idea, rather, it's a safe and profitable one as well. There is a bronze bust statue of Robert Hugman here on the right side at the foot of the stairs. The city, of course, was convinced of the idea in the 1940s, investing in the river, making it his legacy. There are a lot of good restaurants on this river. Most of them have been here a long time, but if you're looking for the restaurant that's been here the longest, don't look very far. It's coming up here on the right side. This is the oldest restaurant on the river. This one with the colorful about Casa Rio. Casa Rio has been here since 1946, 72 years here. There is an impressive amount of history, tradition, and good food inside of their walls. Check it out. Here on the right side, the oldest restaurant on the river, Casa Rio. Look in front of us, everybody, another view of the 202-day hotel we saw earlier. To orient you, we made a full circle.
Hello.
We made a full circle at the area where you were. It's called the natural part of the river. We're going back to the left now. This area here on the left side has the name as well. Remember, on this side, the natural part of the river here does follow the natural flow of the river. On the other side, it does very great. The man-made extension, this area on this other side does not follow the natural flow of the river. And here in front of us, in fact, wasn't even existent before the 1960s. Constructed in the 1960s, completed in 1968 for the World's Fair. Many of the artifacts in this area were completed or given to the city that year for that event. Before the river became known as the Riverwalk, it was known as Yanaguana. Yanaguana is a Native American word. It's a word made up by the Payaya Native American tribe. It's a word that means calm and peaceful river. And while the river today is still mostly calm and peaceful now, every year over 30 million people come to say hi to the city and the river, making San Antonio the most popular spot in all of Texas to visit. Last year saw more than 30 million people coming in to visit this city for the 300-year anniversary celebration. Find out what happened in that celebration, go visit the website, sanantonio300.org. Now they got there in front of us, way out there in front of us, the big building on the left side with the blue lights that says Marriott on top. That's the Marriott River Center Hotel. That's the end of that story. But there's more to that story. That's one of the. There's more to that story. Before that hotel was there, a smaller hotel was occupying that space. The Fairmont Hotel. Constructed in 1906, the Fairmont Hotel only 2 stories tall. But the city in the 1980s wanted a giant hotel there instead. But the city couldn't destroy the Fairmont Hotel. It's a historic landmark. So instead of destroying that little hotel, the city pulled that little landmark out of the ground, put wheels on it, and then moved it. Moved it 4 blocks south over to Nueva Street, where it still currently resides. 5 years of planning, 6 days to execute. If that doesn't sound incredible, there's a YouTube video of the whole thing proving it happened. Now coming up on the right side, the Tower of the Americas are back, but the Tower of the Americas over here to the right side. There it is on the right. So the Tower of the Americas, when you go home and people ask you, what does the Tower of the Americas look like, you can tell them it's a churro with a cupcake on top. The Tower of the Americas was completed in 1968. It was the highlight of the World's Fair in 1968, standing at a height 750 feet tall. It was at the height in that year the tallest freestanding observatory in the nation. It held that title, continued to hold that title until 1995 when the Stratosphere in Las Vegas, Nevada was completed at a height of over 1,100 feet tall. There is a restaurant up at the Tower of the Americas. They serve lunch and dinner. I'm not embarrassed to say when I go up there I like to use the elevator. You can use the stairs if you want. 951 excruciatingly long steps wait for you. You can try to break the record going up there to the very top if you wanted to. 5 minutes, 18 seconds. Be sure to take a defibrillator, aspirin, and oxygen with you.
That's right.
The restaurant also rotates at a rate less than 1 time per hour. When the city opened the restaurant in 1968, it rotated over 20 times per hour. But the city quickly found out too fast. People weren't able to hold their meals on that speed. The city slowed it down to its current rate of less than 1 time per hour. So we're going to go slowly this area just in case there's another boat coming in the other direction. I don't want to involve ourselves in a Titanic collision. I'm not really the kind of captain that goes out with the ship.
Yeah.
That's not why the... Right, exactly. Okay, this is what's going down. So I want to tell you about some other services our company has. We have charter services. You can reserve a boat just like this one for a private tour if you want. You can reserve the entire boat. Go to the website. Go to GoRioCruises.com for information on that. Invite your friends, your family, your colleagues. Even invite Matthew McConaughey. Go to the website.